everybody, welcome. This is the Smiling Banjo Podcast presented by the Philly Folk Song Society. My name's Emily Drinker. I'm a singer-songwriter based here in Philadelphia. I've been coming to Folk Fest for a really long time. It's a really important part of my life, so it's been an honor to be part of this new podcast and this project to interview some of the great artists that we have here at the fest. Right now I'm here with a total Folk Fest legend, John Flynn. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I think you are a
That's
what
they
Fest
call
legend.
you when you just keep showing up
No.
year after year.
Well, you've been here for you've been coming. You've been emceeing and performing.
Yeah.
What is your history with the fest? Like, when did it start?
Somewhere in the early 90s, I think. I believe I was being managed by Helen Light, who I'm sure you know well. And when Helen was maybe with WMMR or something, but she and her husband Biff Kennedy got me to Gene and set up the first time I played here, which was probably on the Tank stage. And then, I think my first shot on the main stage was like 96 or 97.
Wow.
And we did a Sunday afternoon performance with Los Lobos.
Cool.
Me and my band, the Unsung Heroes back then.
That's amazing.
And it was it was a great experience. And I will share. Andy Bronfeld, the festival co-director, took me aside and he gave me advice that I've never forgotten. He said, like you folk singers like to do that patter thing. You like to set up the songs and do the intros. He said, shut up and sing. and so that's kind of stayed with me through the years.
Oh,
That's
man.
Andy talking in my ear as I'm on stage.
But you are such a great storyteller. Like, whether you're emceeing, you do such a great job at that here.
Thank you.
But he's right. Like, your songs speak so beautifully for themselves too. Like, the storytelling in the song is where it's at for
Thank
you. I
you.
would think.
Well,
yeah.
I hope it should be like a little bit of a self-contained thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to, you have to set it up properly. I'm being a little facetious. And my wife would just roll her eyes, like, "Oh yeah, you go on at the mouth quite a bit." So.
Well, didn't I read somewhere Gene Shea called you like the quintessential folk singer?
Gene
or
did say
or something like that.
He said something like that. Yeah,
Nice.
It was a stunningly generous thing to say, but he was just the dearest man, and he is so much with us in our hearts this weekend. Matter of fact, I was given by his family a little tiny octarina.
Oh wow! You know how to play?
I don't, but Gene used to wear this around his neck, and so I've kind of kept it, with me the whole weekend, just to have like a little piece of him on stage with me.
That's really neat.
Yeah. There's just so many wonderful memories associated with this place, as you know.
Yes. Yeah, it feels. How does it feel being here now? And you get to close it out too.
What's that? Yeah, I just flashed on that James Earl Jones, Kevin Costner baseball movie, Field of Dreams.
Oh yeah.
And James Earl Jones is going. The memories will be so thick they'll have to swat them away like flies. In that James Earl Jones baritone.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what it feels like. This place, these people, this music, this energy. It's just like, and yet you're swatting away these memories that are all around you, and yet you're making new memories and new friends. And, so it's such a gift, and it's such a healing thing to be able to reconnect with this place.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm really curious about your history of just doing activism and music together, and how did that all begin for you? And all the prison performing too, all the work.
Well, activism started with moving to Delaware in like the year 2000 and running into a guy who's currently the chief public defender of the state of Delaware. His name's Kevin O'Connell, and back then he was just in private practice as an attorney. And we met one day, and he said he brought up the death penalty, and he said, "Where do you stand?" And I said, "I kind of think I'm against it, but I've never really thought about it." And he said, "Well, you got to think about it." He's like, and there was a box on my front porch the next day, and it had all kinds of materials and books and movies, and it said, it said, dear John, think about this. You owe it to yourself to do the work, and you owe it to the rest of us to do the work. So we ended up bringing Sister Helen Prejean, who wrote the book and that the movie Dead Man Walking is based on. And Susan Sarandon played Sister Helen in the film. We brought her to the University of Delaware, and we put on the Mercy concert with like John McCutcheon and Charlie King and Reggie Harris and David Roth and we had all of our friends, on stage, and so that was my introduction to activism, kind of like taking a stand on an issue with my music.
Yeah.
And around that time, I was kind of recruited into stopping by the state prison once a week, where there was a peer support group that a Franciscan friar, a fellow named Brother David Schlatter, had been running. He was being transferred. He's now the chaplain at the Walter Reed Medical Center in Silver Spring. He was leaving, and he wanted me to continue this Tuesday morning support group. And I had no training at all, and no life experience that I thought would be relevant. And I said no to him twice, and he asked me a third time, and so I said yes. And so for about 2 years, I just kept showing up.
Wow.
Every week when as I was on the road, and trying to figure out what value I could bring to this, and my main thing was I got to find somebody else to take over.
Yeah.
I can't let this die, but I can't. I'm not good enough to do it. And then one day I threw away my books and my articles and my discussion prompts and my outlines for and I said, guys, there's no guards, there's no microphones, there's no cameras. We got an hour and a half. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
And I said, this is your group. You own this group. And then it became something amazing. And then they asked me, can we do this on Thursdays? So I showed up twice a week.
Oh my God.
And then they said, well, a couple of us are getting released. Can we do this on the outside? And it began to dawn on me that people change because of presence and relationships, more than anything else. And these relationships were helping these guys see themselves in new ways. Not asking them to be better, but actually it will be different. Just asking them to see different, to see themselves different. And so, my friend Greg Boyle says we go to the margins not to change the people we meet, but to be changed by them. And if you can take that spirit into prison, or into an AIDS hospice, or a rehab center, or wherever people are hurting, if you can take that spirit in with you and just say, what awesome human being am I going to be privileged to meet today, and maybe even know a little bit, that just turns everything upside down.
Yeah.
And it certainly changed my life, and so I think of those guys. I'm currently visiting 3 state facilities in Delaware on a weekly basis, and I have some great volunteers, including 2 who did substantial prison time.
Wow.
So Ty did 13 years at the James T. Vaughn Correctional Center, and Anthony did 12 at Attica, and then another 10 at the Howard R. Young Correctional Institution in Delaware. Both of those men go into prison with me each week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if you think about somebody that's spent decades in hell, literally decades in hell, they come out of hell and you say, how about you go in and we run a workshop on Tuesdays and Thursdays? And they're going to say, yeah, I'd love to go back into hell. These guys are my heroes. It's all the men that I work with. And some women. We've also been into the women's prison.
That's
anyway,
incredible.
so you get me started on this, and
I'm really interested in
ramble
that.
on. So
I really love how much a part of your work that is, and
it's
inspiring.
It's changed my music,
and
my music. It all feeds. It's not like bifurcated or whatever. It's all of a piece now, and plus I make the money. Excuse me, partner, I'm talking. I make money for the guys in reentry. Like we help them with weekly bus passes and with groceries and special needs. But we don't get any grants or anything. I make money at my shows through my audiences. We put out a backpack and folks kick in whatever they can kick in and at the merch table, and that's how we fund the reentry work. And it's made a big difference.
That's incredible. That's so inspiring to me, because I want to step into more of that in my work, and I'm just, I think it'll become more comfortable as I do it, but you're a pro with that. Just activism and music together.
We just keep showing up,
yes.
like at the Philadelphia Folk Festival, and then sooner or later they say, this guy's a legend. And that just means you're old.
No, it doesn't. You really are, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really look forward to your show tonight.
Thanks, me too. It's
Yeah.
going to be fun. It's going to be kind of something special, I think, tonight.
Yeah. Are you going to venture into the campground tonight?
I may do so, yes. I haven't, because of my MC duties this weekend, I wanted to stay somewhat fresh, and so I go back to the hotel. But tonight, depending on the weather plans, I may do just that. Yeah,
awesome.
Are you going to be back there?
I'll be back there, yeah. I'd love to sing one with you.
I would enjoy that. All right, see you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks
see you
so
around
much
the
for doing
campfire.
this. We appreciate it so much. Thanks, John. John Flynn, everybody. Thanks for tuning in for Smiling Banjo Podcast. See you soon.
He has been a mentor and an inspiration to me and so many musicians along the way. He is a pillar of Philly Folk Fest. I'm honored to call this fine musician and this fine human being my dear friend. Would you give it up for the one and only, your very own, Mr. John Flynn?
Thank you. Well, I was asked to write this next song by a woman named Jennifer Thompson. Jennifer was the subject of a Frontline documentary and recently a 60 Minutes episode. Told the story that she had made a terrible mistake, and her testimony was used to send a man to prison for life. The man's name was Ronald Cotton, and he served 11 years of that sentence before DNA was used to prove his innocence, and he was set free. And he went looking for Jennifer to tell her that he had forgiven her. And his forgiveness profoundly changed her life, and they became the dearest of friends. And they wrote a book together called Picking Cotton, and I highly recommend you look for it. And the idea is now that the book is going to become a film, and Jennifer asked me to write a song for when that happens, and this is called Mercy. Although it was in despair, it longed for peace, and so your spirit laid your anger down to stay free from your prison. You forgave me, trapped within a heart that hated. I too was incarcerated by scars someone else inflicted. Never could I have predicted mercy would save my life, 'cause mercy found me when I was thirsty. Condemnation, mercy is my salvation, mercy. I could not ask for mercy. Redemption cried, you're worthy to be blessed by this mercy, sweet forgiveness. So much had been taken from me, fear and rage. I felt help numb me, to wounds even I could not see. To my very humanity you reached, but I doubted when you told them you forgave me. Then you let me in, I realized what I saw within your eyes was mercy. Saved my life because mercy found me when I was thirsty for retribution. Mercy was my solution, mercy. I could not ask for mercy. Redemption cried, you're worthy to be blessed by this mercy, the sweet forgiveness. make you whole. Mercy can ease your pain. Mercy can break the chain. Mercy gives but it takes. Mercy for our mistakes. Forgive us our trespasses. Raise us up from these ashes, lashing out with hell's own fury. I have been your judge and jury, enraged every time you pleaded. Innocent though you proceeded, true though you felt forsaken. In those years that I had taken, from this wrong could come some justice. And now you taught me to trust this mercy. Saved my life because of mercy. I'm free when I was thirsty. For bitter vengeance and mercy. Mute my sentence and mercy. Pride could not ask for mercy. Redemption cried your word. To be blessed by this mercy. The sweet forgiveness. Sweet forgiveness. Thank you, you've been great. I'm going to ask for some help. Anybody backstage who feels like coming out, I could sure use some help on this final song. Or how far you may roam. May the road carry you safely home. May the hope in your heart never die. May the hope your heart never die. May the hope in your heart never die. May the truth set you free. May the truth from the pain of the lie. Of the pain of the lie. May the hope in your heart never die.